Welcome to Business Live. I'm Mark Croskery. In BL tonight, first up, we've got Jamaica producers here going to consider a dividend. The board of directors of JP, ticker symbol, are going to be considering declaring a dividend or a capital distribution at a meeting scheduled to be held early December 4th, 2020, right around the corner. Now, more earnings results coming out really over the weekend and earlier today. Honeybun 1982 Limited, net profits increasing by 6%, but the point here, they're still increasing to close out the year. This is the audited financials, despite, the school trade, the whole school season, being hammered, being battered, not really giving them, probably about 6 months or, 2 quarters of results. So all things measured, a good year for Honeybun overall, given the lack of, the school business. Next up, sticking to earnings, we've got AMG Packaging and Paper. Steady profits, steady year here for AMG. They've been through some tough times, for 2020. So they're still struggling to find growth despite COVID-19, C-19. Net profits or earnings per share fairly flat, but that's good for them. They've had some down years in the past. So a very small decline, 11 cents per share versus 12 cents per share. So that's good for them, fairly flat or a small decline. Revenues fell on the headline number 5.5% to 720 million Jamaican. So lots of earnings, as we keep saying. It's a good time on Jamaica Stock Exchange, over 100 companies. Blue Power Group, or BPOW here. Weaker second quarter, to our surprise, on higher expenses. They do say in the management discussion analysis, they're now on the main market, being hit by taxation, April 2020, so they're not a junior company anymore. But earnings per share here, dropping, coming down to 3 cents per share versus 5 cents per share. Revenue surging, though, interestingly, on the top line by 35% to 151 million Jamaican. Now, what the chairman, the CEO, speaks to is that really they had some higher write-offs, receivables or collections that really hurt the second quarter. It doesn't really break that out to really see it in the income statement, but in the admin and other expenses item, we see this jumping up by $7 million or so. We're going to assume on Business Live or BL that the figure is under here. So admin, other expenses, jumping up to 37 million versus 30 million Jamaican year over year. Last up, we got Paramount Trade in Jamaica. PTL here, resignation of a director. Well-known businessman, Mr. Juki Chin, has resigned as director from the board of directors of Paramount, effective 27th November 2020, just the other day. It goes on to say in the press release on the JSE to really manage his personal affairs and other business interests. Lovely what Paramount says, really, congratulates him, tells him thanks for so much years that he's brought to Paramount and the business. I'm Mark Croskery, this is Business Live.